Hello everyone and welcome to this video of mine. You know, initially I had wanted to and planned on making it a review on this palette, this RawBeautyKristi and Pure palette, but I feel like that's not really a thing that needs to happen because this is a limited edition item and the restock already happened, and so I'm pretty sure it's done, right? Like whoever got it and that's it. I don't know that they're doing a third restock. I haven't heard of anything mentioning a third restock, so I feel silly reviewing this palette purely because does it matter? Like, if you have it, you have it. So I mean, essentially, I've got my 3 looks that I did with this dual-sided palette. So you'll be able to see that. It's going to be a long enough video already. You know, each tutorial is usually about 10 minutes. And so this is going to be a long video already. But I did just want to, like, quickly throw in, like, Kristi, I'm so happy for you. I mean, you don't know who I am. Will you watch this video? I doubt it. But, like, if you do watch this video, so happy for you, so proud. I mean, I say I'm proud. Like, we know each other, but you know, you get proud for the people you watch on YouTube when they have big opportunities like this. Like, this is huge. The fact that she was able to design her own palette, like came up with this idea for a palette. I don't know that I've ever seen one quite like this. It is sleek. It's got her illustrations on here of things that mean things to her. You know, the names of all the shades are things that mean things to her, and the colors are very Kristi. So I mean, anyone who purchased this palette, I think, was a Kristi fan. Yeah, and so for that, I think you're gonna love the palette no matter what. I don't believe I had ever tried out a Pure eyeshadow palette before, so I don't feel like I have the knowledge to say how it compares, but apparently this is a very different formula than what Pure usually does. These are pressed pigments, so as Kristi has mentioned in her videos talking about the palette, there is gonna be a lot of kickback on these. They are very powdery, but if you just tap off your brush, I have had no problem with fallout. These shades all blend pretty creamily and seamlessly together. There's a few shades that take a little working with, like You're Not My Real Dad, but certainly it can be blended out. It just, compared to the other ones that are so buttery and blendy, that one, it takes a little more working with. But overall, you know, the colors I think really scream Kristi. The fact that you can do a more neutral but then also have your colors, or you can use them together. Gotta love, aside from Kristi, you gotta love warm palettes. You have to. I mean, yes, there is the random cool shade thrown in here and there, like You're Not My Real Dad, but the majority of this palette is warm, and it is really yellowy warm. So if you don't like those kinds of colors on you, you're probably not gonna like the palette, because I think that's the main thing that I find difficult to work with this palette, is just that there's no in-betweens with this palette. Like, either you're gonna have a heavily yellowy warm look, or you're gonna have a very heavily colorful look, like bright poppy colors. Like, there's no middle ground. I don't think I've been able to find much of a middle ground. I mean, maybe today I was able to, but you know, this is the kind of palette where you're making a look with this palette. That's not a bad thing. It's just something that I have found to be very true, because, you know, usually when you get these kinds of bright colors and stuff, you have a similar shade that is much softer to blend it out with, but with this palette, you don't have that for a lot of these shades. I mean, yes, for the yellow, yes, for the red on the flip side, but like the purple, the pink, the green, the blue, you don't really I mean, I guess the magenta and also the purple, you know, you can use Moo Point, and you know, there's ways to work and make these blend out and become a little softer, but there's not that second or third tonally different color in the same color family for each of these shades. I mean, it would be a huge palette in order to do that, but do you get what I'm saying? It just makes it so that you don't have much wiggle room in terms of the power of the look that you're gonna come up with. As I said, is that a bad thing? No, it's just a thing to keep in mind. You don't have a softer purple to blend out Tribute with, so you're gonna have purple on your lids or on your eyes somewhere. Same thing with Hurtful. You don't have a softer blue to blend that out with. You're stuck with that powerful blue. And that is fine, like I said. I feel like I get so scared reviewing any YouTuber's products because any YouTuber, especially one that is big enough to collaborate with a big name brand like this, you know, they've got their stans, they've got their fans, and I don't want to offend people by saying these things. That's not the reason I'm saying these things. I'm just trying to explain, you know, I think that's really the only part of this palette that's a struggle for me, but that's just purely based on how I like to do my makeup typically. But that being said, I mean, will I be reaching for this palette in the future? Oh yeah, I absolutely will when I am wanting, you know, like a pop of color on my lower lash line, which I love doing. Absolutely, I'll be reaching for these shades. And also if, you know, I have my other palettes where I do have those similar colors that are tonally different so that I can blend out with them, yeah, I'm gonna go to this one to put in that base pop, but then I'll be able to blend it with a different palette. So this is gonna be more of like a supplementary palette for me. And, you know, I can't necessarily see myself reaching for it for this side too much, mainly because I have a lot of these colors and a lot of us do, and I don't personally, I feel like I went through a phase where I really liked doing yellowy, warm kind of eye looks, but I'm just not there right now. And so for me, this, like I said, it's more of a supplemental thing. I just don't think the colors look good with my skin coloring and whatnot, but that's just going to be a personal preference. And overall, I'm just really happy with the palette. The mirrors are great. I love that the mirrors are on both sides. I love the way it feels. I love that it's easy to hold in the hand while you're doing your eye makeup. And overall, I'm very happy that I was able to get this on the launch day. You know, we were all, well, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you probably experienced it or at least have some knowledge of the launch day. Yes, it was horrible, but I think, you know, Pure did their best to make it up to us. The liner that they sent out, you'll see this in the tutorial. I hated the eyeliner, but like, thanks, I guess, for giving it out to everybody. I mean, that was certainly an expense on Pure's behalf. And also, I mean, the coupon, it's one of those things where it's like, this only does me any good if I spend more money on Pure's website, you know what I mean? So to me, a coupon is just kind of like, not much of an apology if I don't shop on their website otherwise, which I don't. So anyways, I think they tried. I think this was a learning experience for them, and I'm sure if they do another launch like this again, they'll be better prepared. I feel horrible for Kristi that she had to go through that and like feel horrible for her launch day. I think that sucks that you know, kind of taints that memory for her. But, you know, overall, I mean, I said this on my Twitter and stuff while it was all going down, but like, you know, there's no reason for her to be sorry that that happened, you know, and that people spent so much time trying to get their hands on her palette. Like, if they didn't care or they didn't want to, people wouldn't have waited. So like, Kristi, if you are watching this, like, don't worry about it, you know? If people waited, they wanted to wait. Was it frustrating? Sure. But like, we were there because we wanted to be. So hopefully you're not feeling as bad about that anymore. But overall, like I said, I am happy with my purchase. I'm glad I got the palette. I really have enjoyed creating looks with it. It's been a struggle for me just because, like I said, it is very different from what I'm used to in terms of a color palette. But that being said, it pushed me out of my comfort zone to work primarily with matte shades. I'm not used to doing an all matte look with just shimmer in my inner corner. Like, that's not something I do really ever. It's like 1% of the time maybe I'll do that kind of a look. But yeah, overall, there you go. I hope you guys, you know, enjoy the video, the rest of it with the tutorials and everything. Here they are. Have fun. Hopefully if you got the palette or if you have similar colors or something, you can get some inspiration from what I came up with. Hello everyone and welcome to my 3 looks 1 palette video here for the Pure RawBeautyKristi palette. So excited I was able to get my hands on this. Here it is. We've got the dual-sided palette with the lovely hand-drawn illustrations by Miss Kristi herself. I obviously haven't opened this yet, but such a cool concept to have it be dual-sided like this so that you can do your neutrals, you can flip it around, do your bolds, or you can use both of them at once, which is what I'm going to be doing for this tutorial video. I will do one tutorial with just this one side, I'll do another tutorial with just the colorful side, and then I'll do do one with both sides. I love that both sides have the mirror, and I am just super ready to go. You gotta love matte shades because these palettes are mostly matte. I like a little more shimmer personally, but I do always get upset. There's a lot of times where I wish palettes had more mattes and not as many shimmers. So either way, I'm gonna do something semi-simple here, but I still want it to have some oomph. So while I'm pondering, I can prime my eyes. Voila. Okay, so first off, I do just wanna, ooh. I barely touched that. Wow, nice, nice, nice. That has me all sorts of excited, as if I wasn't already. So let's go ahead and start with this Copper Boxes shade. Ooh, I mean, it is really like powdery crumbly, so you're gonna wanna be careful there. And I'm using just a very light tap touch with a very fluffy brush. So really wanna tap that off. This is the ColourPop number 10 brush. Guess I will zoom you guys in a little bit more so we can really see these in action. But I'm just gonna put this down as a very fluffy, blended out kind of transition crease shade. Okay, let's see, maybe I won't tap it off since I'm not getting as much pigment from that. There we go. Beautimous. And with a more concentrated brush, I'm going to use that little tiny pointy end of the Urban Decay Naked Cherry dual-ended brush that came in that palette. I'm going to use this in B. I'm going to use this to kind of carve my crease out here. So not really working on or worrying about blending this shade. I just want to make that kind of pointy contour shape, as I said, in my crease. Then I'm just gonna flip the brush around and use the fluffy end in Camelot up top. Ooh, again, this one is very, very powdery. But I'm gonna use this to blend these shades together. Well, really concentrating on blending out that deeper shade, but also just making those, well, now it's making 3 become 1. I was gonna do a Spice Girls moment, but their song was not about a threesome. Not that I know of. Alright, so this wasn't as blendy beautiful as I wanted it to be. It's looking a little jaundiced, but hopefully I'm gonna bring this all together. I'm gonna make it work. I am going to mix Copper Boxes and B now. Just a little tippity tap, boobity bop, and try and make the edge of this shade blend out. There. That's more what I wanted. Ah, blending. Alright, and then just to blend a little further, I am going to use this Real Techniques Multitask Eye Brush. Super fluffy, just a clean brush, just to blend everything together a little bit more. There we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead with this ES06 Juno & Co. brush, kind of a fluffy base brush. Oh, that fallout in Camelot. I don't want to blow it away, but I kind of do because it's going to make a mess. Goodbye. I'm going to use this to put my whole heart on the inner half of my eyelid, and then I'm going to use it to put Told You on the outer half. Not used to doing an all matte look. You know, I think it's coming together. I'm so tempted. I think I'm just gonna go for it and dip into It Just Does with this fluffy ColourPop brush from before, just a little bit. And I'm gonna pop this on my lower lash line, mainly on the outer half, and then just blending any remaining pigment towards the inner half. I just kind of want to bring some of that red out from the orangey brown that I used on my lid. Kind of bring that in with the Camelot shade. I just felt like something was lacking, and I think it might have been this pop of color. Kind of wanted to not use this shade in this look just because I wanted to save the ultra colorfulness for the color side of this palette, but it is what it is. Eyeshadow looks sometimes have a life of their own. You have something in mind and then they morph right in the middle of whatever you're doing. Voila! Now for a little detail, I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. small smudge brush, and I gotta use this golden ticket shade in the middle. You all know me, I need my inner corner highlight, so I'm gonna use this as my inner corner highlight. What a shocker! Not at all. I'm also kind of bringing it up onto the lid just a little bit. I do kind of love that look though, when the whole eye is matte and then you just have the shimmer in the inner corner. I feel like it makes it pop even more. Alright, so here we go. Final completed look. Had a bit of a struggle. I went ahead and put some nude liner in my waterline and then decided, since Pure gave out a free liner, this is their on point eyeliner in Down to Earth. They gave this to everyone who ordered on the launch day as an apology. Figured I would give it a try to line my upper lash line with it. That pencil did not work well for me. For whatever reason, when I was drawing it, like on the back of my hand, it was nice and smooth and creamy, but when I tried to do it on my lids, it was just super tuggy and dry and not great. So I had to kind of try and smudge it out with You're Not My Real Dad, and I think I kind of got it to work. I had to sharpen up where it failed underneath, so I went ahead and used a wipe to sharpen up the outer point there. But I think overall the eye look came out really nice. I'm happy with it anyways. I mean, it is certainly a very warm look, which I don't always think looks the greatest on me, just with my overall coloring. As I said, I think it can look a little bit jaundiced, but you know, overall I love the look. I think it looks really nice. It is poppy, but in a matte way, but then with that nice inner corner pop. I think it's fun. It looks nice. Things blended well, and I'm excited to try out the matte bright colors now in the next look. Hello everyone, look number 2 time. While I put on some eyeshadow primer, let me preface this and say it would be a dirty, terrible lie if I told y'all I was not terrified of using just this side of the palette. So I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm gonna tell you I am terrified to be only using the colorful side of the palette. This is very scary for me. Very, very, very much out of my comfort zone. But, you know, we're here to play today. We are here to have some fun, do it up, try something new. And if I fail miserably, that's okay. It's not like I'm recording this and I'm putting it out onto the internet for thousands of people to see my failure, right? So, I think I know what I'm doing. At least in my head, I'm sticking with these 6. And we're not gonna do the red, orange, yellow. That's the thought. Is it gonna end up happening that way? I don't know. But I think the best way to do this is just to dive right in. Zoom you in a little more. So basically what I'm gonna be doing is making a exaggerated swoopy-doop, and I'm gonna do that with a gradient of 3 colors: Garden State, Hurtful, and Tribute. Green, blue, purple, just like the rainbow. Will I be able to? I don't know, but I'm gonna try. I'm just using this BH Cosmetics Pro number 8 brush, and I'm gonna begin. And I'm gonna not care too much about the bottom portion of this because I'm gonna be cutting it afterward with some concealer. But what I mainly want to do is just really get that pigment down towards my crease, and then we will use a separate brush to be fluffily blending it upwards, but we're not there yet. Not there yet. Alright, we're there now. So I'm gonna use this Luxie 121 mini tapered brush, and I'm gonna fluff out the edges a little bit. I did not have any pigment on this brush. Now I do, now that I'm blending. I might have to dip this in a little bit. It looks like it's leaving a little bit of a, what is the word? Demarcation? I don't actually know what I'm talking about. A line of demarcation, isn't that a thing? I thought it was, maybe not. But we just want to make this really nice and soft and blendy smooth, or as smooth as we can. I mean, this color is fat. I would love this color as a t-shirt. I just don't know about it on my eyes. But you know what? We won't know until we try. That's how the saying goes, and it is very correct. I'm hoping to look like a beautiful butterfly when all is said and done. Time will tell. And now I'm just gonna repeat this step 2 more times with the blue and the purple. And I'm hoping that since I'm using, well, first off, just since these colors are in the same palette, chances are they're gonna work well together, but also by using the same brushes, I'm hoping the colors will blend fairly seamlessly into each other. This blue is superb. Shut up. So, that happened. How exciting. Now, let's go ahead and do like I said, cut my crease with my NARS Creamy Concealer brush. I think I'm gonna keep it at the crease for the inner half and then bring it up for the outer portion. Sometimes I change my mind based on how it's looking. Sometimes I'll change my mind based on me messing up, so we'll see. Time will tell. That's all done. I'm gonna go ahead. First, I'm gonna try using this ColourPop brush. It looks like a concealer kind of a brush to pack on the magenta color, which I'm very excited to do. Now I'm having second thoughts. Okay, here, what I'm gonna do. Use this brush in Lumos, kind of what I was planning on doing, but I'm just gonna use this to pack on top of the concealer on the inner half-ish of my lid. See, because I was planning on doing this and then kind of gradienting it into the magenta, but now that I'm like going to apply it, I'm not sure that I actually want to do that. Decisions. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna bite the bullet. Let's go into side effect. See how this does. Woo! That is a pink! A bright, bright pink. And I know some of you are probably wondering, well, Cassie, what were you thinking? And to that, all I can say is I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna bite the bullet and do the thing that I think I was gonna change my mind to and bring the pink. Yeah. Let's go. If we're gonna do this, let's do it. Right, and now I'm just going to go in with a fluffy brush from ColourPop into that side effect shade, and I'm just going to blend out the outer portion into this kind of white void that we had created. So I was planning on putting the hot pink just on the outside here, but then I wasn't so sure that I wanted to have that look. I don't know. I just was second guessing myself, and I just didn't know, and da 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 da. I think things will work out. I'll be okay. Right, now we can go ahead and highlight my inner corners with Lumos, and then I'm going to put Cafe Disco on top. Now for some liner fun. I just love doing this when I do a more dramatic look like this, but I'm gonna take this Magnificent Metal glitter from Stila in Smoky Storm, and I'm just gonna dip an angled liner brush from ColourPop into the glitter that is on the doe foot. I'm gonna use this to line crease because it's fun and I like it. Ah, why yes, I am a fairy space princess. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing and asking me that. Ah, that's just the vibe these kind of looks give off to me. Some sort of a space fairy princess with a bit of warrior in her. So yeah, I mean, you guys saw what I did. I just went ahead and finished up with some white in my waterline, put on some mascara, some black liner as well, and bada bing bada boom, there we go. Here is this eye look. Certainly very dramatic for me, but you know, I do like the way these looks come out. It's just not a day-to-day look for me. That being said, the colors are beautiful, the pigments worked great, they look great together, and I just hope you guys had fun watching me play with this side of the palette. I'm excited to use these colors along with some of the neutrals on day 3. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to this final third tutorial here where I'm going to be using both sides of this dual palette from RawBeautyKristi and Pure. I want these 3 colors. I just think they're gonna work beautifully together. I'm gonna use more than those 3 colors, but those are the ones that I really want to see working together, creating something fabulous. I am going to prime my lids first, I don't want this makeup going anywhere. The only place I want to see it going is down in the history books. Haha, yeah, it's gonna be that good. It might be a good joke if I was like really supremely talented with eye makeup, but I'm not that delusional. To begin, I'm going to go in with this ColourPop E5 pencil type brush, and I want to begin to carve out my crease and whatnot with You're Not My Real Dad down yonder. And as I said, I just want to use this to get some definition going in my crease on the outer portion of my eye. Create depth, definition, all that good stuff. And since we are just applying with a pencil brush right now, I am not worried about blending this out. That is not what these kinds of brushes are meant for. I'd do a really poor job if I tried. Then I'm just going to use a fluffy blender brush. This is the BH Cosmetics number 8 brush from their Luxe Marble collection. And since it already has a purple stain on it, I mean I color switched it, but we're going to flip the palette over. And to blend this, I suppose first, before I dip into any color, I'm just going to try and blend out the edge of that matte brown a little bit. It's not going to be much, but just a little bit to get it going. Then, to really blend, I am going to be using Tribute and Side Effect. I'm going to be using Tribute more on the outer portion, and then Side Effect on the inner portion. Not to blend, I'm not going to blend this out like too much. Just want to kind of place this color where that brown was. Not trying to cover it up, but am I making any sense? I don't think that I am. Maybe this can be a do as I do, not as I say moment. Yeah, flip it and reverse it. right, things are looking blended. I'm not doing like a full cut crease or anything. I just want to clean up the edges underneath where we had put those colors. So I'm just going in with my e.l.f. concealer brush, my NARS Creamy Concealer, and I'm just gonna dab this on as I typically do. And as I said, I just want to get a nicer edge here for the colors we're going to put down on the lid. Alright, and now I'm going to be using Lumos on the inner portion of my lids where I just put down that concealer. Really brighten up the eye space. Then I'm going to flip her back over and go on into Moo Point. The same brush, tippity tapping off all that excess, and I'm going to be placing this on the outer half of my lid. And then just to tie things together, I'm gonna go back into You're Not My Real Dad and blend this onto the very outer corner of my lid and into Moo Point. And for under the eyes, I'm going to line my lash line with the way that my camera just cut me off was hurtful. I'm gonna do a mix of Hurtful and Garden State, concentrating this more on like the outer 2/3, I guess, of the lower lash line, not bringing it all the way in. And then just with a little fluffer brush, this is the Luxie 229, I just very lightly, I'm going to tap this into the exact same 2 shades and blend that out. Then to finish things up, who would I be without an inner corner highlight? I would not be Cassie. That's for darn sure. I'm going to use Cafe Disco on this e.l.f. small precision brush and do this in the inner corners and bringing it up onto the lids a little bit where the white was. Alright, and here we have it. Here is the final look. I love it. I love the way this all came together. To finish things up, I just went ahead and lined my waterline with a nice shiny teal, and also went ahead and lined my upper lash line with some glitter glue, and then did a glitter liner because I wanted to, and then put on some mascara, and voila, we have got some butterfly fairy princess makeup, I would say. As I said, I am very happy with the way this turned out. I think it is just very bright and springy, summery, and pretty. I don't know, I'm really happy with it. These pigments really do blend out just beautifully. They mix together beautifully, and overall I am super duper happy with the look. I hope you guys like it too. Alright, so that is that. It's over. All of the tutorials. Thank you so much if you hung around and stuck around through all of those. As I said in the beginning, I hope it was helpful for you guys, getting some inspiration whether you have this palette or not. You know, if you have similar colors or whatever that you can work with to recreate the looks if you enjoyed them. Certainly let me know if you did, and or which was your favorite in those comments down below. You can also let me know if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful by giving it a thumbs up down below. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're new here, hey, hi, hello, how are you? You can go ahead and subscribe. You can tippity tap that notification bell down below. Become a member of my casserole family here on my channel. I'd love to have you here. And as always, I just hope you guys are all doing well. And until next time, just stay well until then. Bye!